What is going on today, guys? Tomcat here, and today we are back and we're going to be talking about the Fate of the Furious Forza Motorsport 7 car pack. Now, I know it's kind of weird to be discussing car packs right now since the game isn't even out yet, but this is a launch car pack. Now, as you can see, there's tons and tons and tons of cool cars making their way into the game with this pack, regardless of how you feel about launch car packs. I mean, we have the Hoonigan pack as well as this pack, and some people might say that that's a little iffy to have two launch car packs, you know, right from the get-go, but take that as you will, because there's, I think, some people that are going to be fine with it and some people that are going to be kind of iffy about it, but regardless, there are lots of awesome cars in this pack, especially that Demon, which just flipped over. But this Rocket Bunny BRZ as well is actually, it's really interesting because that BRZ, while it's a Fast and Furious edition, does that mean that we'll be able to basically have a Fast and Furious edition, but then we'll also be able to build the same car with the Rocket Bunny car, like the Rocket Bunny body kit that's already in the game? I don't know. We'll see. So now, getting into the cars, the first car that I wanted to talk about here was the 1966 Chevy Corvette, obviously Fate of the Furious edition. This car makes around about 400 horsepower, and it's got a lot of suspension work done to it. I don't want to read off exactly what they have written there. I want to just kind of give it to you the way I see these cars. I think this car is really cool because it's a circuit-style, autocross-style, classic muscle car, you know what I mean? It definitely fits a really cool, it fits a cool kind of subset of cars, I think, and it definitely will be right at home in Forza Motorsport 7. Now, the next one is pretty crazy. The 68 Charger, and of course the Fast and Furious, or Fate of the Furious edition, I'm sorry, Charger. Now, this thing is ridiculous. It's like, what more can you say about it? What more can you say about this car that's not, you know, already some of the most insane stuff that we've ever been able to drive in a Forza game? Like, how? How? I mean, all-wheel drive, crazy steering angle. Like, what else are you going to... This competes with the Hoonicorn. It really does. And I'm actually very curious to put that up against the Hoonicorn. This, too, this as well. In the back end of this car, when you see how much craziness is going on back there, you're like, oh, maybe I should leave him alone. Like, a lot. Like, maybe I should just let him be, let him do his own thing, because he's probably here to tear a hole in the space and time continuum and just go about his business afterwards. Now, here we go with the Jaguar FType. This thing is cool because it's it's different than a lot of the other cars in this pack, because when you look at it, right, you look at it and you're like, oh, that seems pretty normal, and then you then you think about it, you're like, there's a little bit more that's been done to it under the surface than it initially lets on, which I love the wheels on this car, by the way. The wheels just look absolutely gorgeous, and that British Racing green really completes the package, and I think gives this car an amazing look overall. Now, next up we have this 1971 Plymouth GTX. Now, this thing, dude, this thing with a 383 under the hood is like... It's a beast, and it's gonna be a lot of fun to drive. It's gonna be a lot of fun to drift, and I think it's just gonna be a sweet car to just throw around sideways. I mean, that's what this thing is for, in my opinion, anyway. That's what this thing is for, and that's what it should be for. That's what it should be used for, because where else are you going to find this exact car? I mean, you might find other, maybe, versions of it, but this exact one, straight from the film, I think that's going to be pretty badass, and I think it's going to be awesome. Next up is actually one of my, I don't know, it originally was one of my favorites, and then, okay, so basically look at it this way. I love the Subaru WRX STI. I love the STI. I really do. But this particular version, I mean, it's awesome that it's coming into the game. I love this particular version, but I'm not sure if I quite like the body style and I quite like the way it looks. I've been a little bit on the fence about this particular generation of Subaru STI for a while. I'm not the world's biggest fan of the front end. I'm just not. I'm just not the world's biggest fan of the front end. I think the older Subarus look better, but that's not to say that it's bad. It's very quick. It's a very fast car, but that's just my personal opinion. So now, a car that a lot of you guys, I feel like, are going to be very, very curious to drive is the 2018 Demon. The Dodge Demon is I mean, that's another thing, is what else can you say about the Dodge Demon? It is the Dodge Demon. 840 horsepower, which is the optional, like, drag package. But, geez, I am going to be building, I'm going to be building so many drag versions of this car. It's not even funny. We're going to build a drag version. We're going to build a drift version. Dude, we're going to do so much crazy stuff with this car. Whoo, it's gonna be mad. It's gonna be absolutely freaking mad. This car actually really excites me because it's very different. It's super weird, super quirky. It's the 51 Chevy Fleetline Special, obviously Fate of the Furious edition. But this thing is so strange because if you look at it, there's no doors, there's no hood, no front fenders, no nothing. But you just can't help but think that there's something hiding under it, which there is. A massive Garrett Turbo running 30 pounds of boost, which is a bit, a bit crazy. And I think that it's going to be an absolute blast in a package that's this light. So yeah, this thing is going to be a fun car to get out and rip in, and I'm sure it actually would make for a fun drift car, maybe even a cool drag car. I didn't really think about it that way before, but there might be some drag car in that. This is obviously the Rocket Bunny BRZ, and honestly, I'm curious about it because, as I said in the beginning of the video, I wonder if you could just take a normal BRZ and replicate this exact BRZ in the game, and I wonder how close you could get. Now, however, this one does have some unique Fast and Furious touches. There's a couple of different things on this car, like, for example, I feel like that intercooler is going to be a little bit bigger on the Fast and Furious version than on other versions, but I don't know. It's just little things here and there. I also feel like those little, maybe the little green slits, almost like if you can see on the side of the car up at the top of the fender. You guys can see what I'm talking about. Definitely a little bit of a different touch, but I mean, we'll see how much of this car can be replicated in game with the standard Subaru BRZ. Now, there's another vehicle that's very different from a lot of the cars that we've talked about so far, and that is the Local Motors Rally Fighter. This is, of course, the Fate of the Furious edition. We've got light bars up top, which should give it, a little bit of a healthy benefit in the dark. And actually, I can't wait to see how this does at night in the rain. I mean, and with that massive bull bar, like, dude, you'll be able to absolutely decimate people. This may actually be a really good car for tag, and I'm really curious to see how it does for that, just considering the fact that it could be really good at it, like stupidly good at it. So that could be one of the new gems for tag mode coming up in the new game. And of course, last but not least, we have this gorgeous Fate of the Furious edition Mercedes AMG GTS. This car is beautiful. I cannot wait to get my hands on it. And this is going to be this car is going to be a blast. We're going to max out the power as much as we can with this car. Like, good grief. Although, does it look to you guys like the wheels are, like, sucked into the fenders just a little bit more than they should be? Maybe. I don't know. It's just a tiny little thing that I may have noticed, but I don't know if it's, like, legit or not. Maybe it's just the angle I'm looking at from the picture. But anyways, regardless, hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to leave me a like. Tell me in the comments down below what y'all thought of it. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe for more. And I'll see you guys next time and later today with more videos. Talk to you guys then.